and welcome back to the workbench. Today's video is going to be the first in the series here, and in this series I'm going to talk about one of my firearms that might be my favorite one in the gun cabinet. Of course, I guess I say that about all of them, but it's my Smith & Wesson M&P9. And right now, as I open up this case, you will see that this firearm is in its completely bone stock configuration. So this is how it looks when you get it from the factory. You of course have the pistol itself, and it comes with at least 2 magazines. I believe this one came with 3. This is the 1.0 version. You've probably seen the 2.0 versions out there. It's got better stippling, a much better trigger. I've actually been able to hold one. I haven't been able to fire one yet, but I do like the trigger in the new 2.0s. It's got a slightly different slide stop on it. It looks a little different, but really functionally it is the same. Of course, inside it's got a longer steel insert to stiffen up the polymer frame. So with this pistol, what am I going to talk about in this series? Well, I am going to upgrade this gun. This is the gun that I use whenever I shoot competition, whether it be like a steel challenge or a USPSA match or a 3-gun competition. For IDPA, I plan on using the Glock 19, but this is the one that I'm going to use basically for every other competition. Now, I don't want to shoot in the open class. I want to shoot in iron sights, limited, tac ops, whatever you call it. Iron sights division is what I want to shoot in. So my AR is set up with a red dot. My shotgun does not have a red dot on it. It's just a straight bead at the front. And this one, I'm not going to put any kind of optic on it. I would love at some point to have a pistol that I could put a red dot on, but this is not going to be the one. So I have upgrades planned for this, and really those upgrades are going to do a few things, I hope. What I'm focusing on is, can I get better accuracy out of this gun, more consistent accuracy out of this gun? And can it recoil less so my follow-up shots are quicker? And can I shoot it faster while maintaining that accuracy? So I have done a bit of a baseline video, and I'll talk kind of briefly about really what I want to do. I'm not going to get into exactly the upgrades I'm going to do to this yet. That's what the other videos in the series are going to be. I'm going to be installing the upgrades, talking about how much they cost, and then does it make sense financially to buy a 1.0 and upgrade it the way that you like it, or to buy a performance center or a 2.0 and have something close to, if not exactly what you're looking for, straight from the factory. So, with no further ado, I want to show you the first thing I was worried about, which was accuracy. Now, I put this M&P, if you've watched my earlier videos, I had an Apex trigger in it. I have put the stock trigger back in this gun, and I went out and did some accuracy testing with it. So I'll overlay that video now. In fact, I'll try to do it so you can actually see it down in the corner here. So down in the corner here, you'll see the video, and really this is the target that I shot. It was not a bad spread at all. If you go center to center, you're looking at 2 to 4.5, so about a 2.5, 2 5/8 inch group. All of the testing that I do is at 10 yards. So this is a 10 yards, 2 5/8 inch group out of a bone stock M&P. Now, that's better than I've done in the past, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me why. I think there's 2 factors at play here. I think I am a better shooter now than I was when I originally tested it, and also this trigger has actually softened up over the years. Of course, I've got my fancy Wheeler, not so fancy, Wheeler scale here, clear, and we're just going to test this thing. Move the magazine so we can get a flat surface. And I will show you. Unfortunately, you won't see it, but I'll bring it into frame here. So I'm going to pull it straight along with the slide here, and as soon as it breaks, that one came in at about 5 3/4 pounds. Let's see if I can show you that there. The light wasn't so bright, I suppose you could see it. About 5 3/4 pounds. Let's do it again. I was a little high up on the face of that trigger, so now let's do it about where my finger would actually be. That one was much better, looking at 5 1/4 pounds. Oh well, that's going to show up on camera. 5 1/4. We'll do it one more time. Right at 5 pounds. Now, I will tell you, right now it is 51 degrees in here, and that is with the heater that you might hear in the background. I've been running this heater now for probably 45 minutes, and it got up to 51 degrees in here. It was 40 degrees in my work shed here when I came out and started. So that might play into some of the stiffness that I'm feeling in that. When I tested it before, it came in right at 5 pounds. I've never been a fan of this hinged trigger. I like the blade design in the front, trigger safety. So we've talked about the accuracy. So I'm going to shoot another one of these after I do all my upgrades, and we'll see how they compare. Along with accuracy comes the trigger pull, which I just showed you. So 5 pounds in its configuration right now. So with the upgrades that I have planned, which you guys already know if you've seen my videos before, I have an apex trigger. I'm going to put the apex back in it, but I wanted to start with a baseline. Overall weight. So that's something I've been curious about, is the overall weight of the handgun. And I don't know if the upgrades that I plan are going to increase or decrease the weight. I would think they would increase the weight, but that's not necessarily a bad thing if you're going to try to reduce felt recoil. So if I put this on here, comes in at 1.518 pounds, 689 grams, or 24.25 ounces. So it's not a light pistol, but it's also not a heavy pistol. So again, once I do the upgrades, I will reweigh everything. I'll test the trigger pull again. Also, I wanted to see how fast I could run a standard 6-inch plate rack, six 6-inch plates. All my testing again is from 10 yards. So this is at 10 yards. I'll lay that video down here now. And it actually performed really well. .384. Missed two. Missed three. .323 missed two. I'm not going to get any better than that. 327, cleaned all six. 327 to the first shot. Sorry, 167 to the first shot. 32 split. Where am I? 33 split, 32 split, 32 split, 31 split. So 33, 32, 32, 31, 167 to the first shot. So not bad. Ran all six. I'm not going to get any better than that. Total overall time was a 327. I was impressed with that 327 time. I was surprised I personally could do it, but I was even more impressed with the fact that the gun in its stock configuration, something I'm not used to, was able to perform that well. Also, I wanted to see how quickly I could get my shots off between reloads. So basically, on the timer, I would fire one shot, which induced a slide lock. I would have to perform a magazine change, chamber a round, and then fire a shot. And I'll overlay that video now. .258 total time, but again, total time doesn't matter. Looking at time between shots. 228 between shots. 228. Let's see if I can improve on that. Mag change kind of sucked. Alright, here we go. .226, that means my bag already was better. 201, 2 seconds, 201 between shots. 2-second magazine change. Alright, see if I can improve on that. That's now empty. .179. So first shot was at a 128, magazine change 179. So I don't think I'm going to get much better than 179 on that. Guess we'll try a couple here. Try it one more time. See if I can improve on a 179. And I'm going to keep the rig. The rig will stay consistent pre and post upgrades. So here we go. 172, so about the same, 172. So that was moving. If I was shooting at anything other than like an IDPA match where they're big targets and they're usually pretty close, probably not going to hit what I'm aiming at. But Buck's minute. Yeah, I hope it wasn't a minute. 1.72 seconds, 1.79 seconds. I don't think I'm going to improve on that number. So plate rack, I forget what that number was, a 320 something, I think 327, and magazine change 172. So hopefully the improvements that I plan to do to this M&P will lessen these times, but we'll see. So as you can see, between 1.72 seconds and 1.79 seconds, I wasn't flying through that. I know that that is where I can make up some time with the upgrades I've got planned for this, and that is really where I'm focusing my time. Also, if you noticed on the plate rack run, there was 1.67 seconds from the time the buzzer went off to the time I fired the first shot. That number has to come down. I think if I can get that number closer to 1 second and maintain my accuracy, that's where I could pick up some time. So between the reloads and getting that first shot off, that's where I can make up some serious time when it comes to especially like a steel challenge competition. And the upgrades that I have planned, I feel can help me with that. You'll notice the holster I was running in that, they're just standard Phobos holsters. These are the ones I currently use in competition because they were inexpensive, but they get the job done. And I really like the paddle style. I like that I can put them anywhere on my hip, depending on how I'm feeling that day. I know you're supposed to go for consistency, but I practice with them. I think the magazine holster here could use some upgrades. I like when they're angled more like this, or even like this. I don't like how close they are in this configuration, so that might be something I upgrade in the future. So really, that's what it boils down to. Stock M&P, I've got some upgrades planned. I'll take you through the changes that I'm going to make to it. That's what this video series is going to be about. This isn't going to make me the next Jerry Michalak. That's not what I'm hoping for. I'm just hoping to go out, have some fun, be a little bit more competitive than what I am now, and really get the firearm in the configuration that I really want it. So in any case, thank you all for watching this first video in this series, and stay tuned for more videos in the M&P upgrade series. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll talk to you again very soon.